Hello, welcome everyone to today's free training session. My name is James Worth, and with me today is Fun Theory Johnson. You can call her Z. Z, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Really excited for today. We're going to have some great fun. We're going to mix things up a little bit. We are going to challenge you to really get a good grip on best practices because we're talking about your website now. So we want to make sure we keep those visitors engaged, and we're going to give some great examples of how to do that, how you can increase that engagement, how you can not scare them away, because we probably have seen some less effective examples of exactly this, where you've got exit surveys, which we'll be talking about, and you have feedback tabs, and we want to make sure we keep them engaged and not get them to leave your website. So, Z, let's talk about today. We've got some great stuff going today.
We sure do. So today we're going to be talking about website feedback. So when we talk about website feedback, there's a couple different ways that we can slice it, right? But website feedback, as we refer to it, means a tab on the side of your screen that you click on, it comes out, and voila, you can now take a survey. We're also going to be talking about exit surveys, which are another type of website feedback. And they are extremely useful. We have done a bit of testing ourselves on both of these, put them on our own sites, get some feedback ourselves. So I'm really excited about this. We're also going to talk a lot about best practices. So I think today, if you've joined our webinars before, we typically do best practices first and then demo second. But today we're going to make the case for website feedback, and then we are going to jump into the demo and then talk about best practices. So
yeah, and we're definitely gonna show exactly where to go and how to configure this. We're gonna show you that. It's pretty straightforward actually, so it's not gonna take a lot of time to get you up to speed on that. But so the key is we definitely want to make sure that we are following those best practices and make sure that we give you some great things to go on from that. So couple quick housekeeping items here. Please resize your video to get the screen nice and big so you can see what we're going to walk through. We will make the recording available, and there's a great Q&A tool built into GoToWebinar. So jump in there, ask your questions at any time during the discussion here today. We'll get to when we can. We'll definitely have some time at the end to answer any additional questions that we don't get to during the regular part of the content, and we'll follow up with you afterward to make sure we get those questions answered. All right, we're ready? Okay.
A case for website feedback. There are a couple things that as we were putting this information all together, I really want to drive home why website feedback as a whole is important. And a couple of things that we found that really support the case for website feedback. First of all, think with Google.com. You'll see this link here. Everyone will have a copy of this presentation as well as a copy of the recording after this is done. So in the presentation, you'll be able to go to this link. But for now, let me give you a little bit of background on what it is. This Think with Google.com, they took millions of interactions from Google Analytics, and they did a lot of analysis on it. And the net result of their analysis was looking at the customer journey and seeing where people were going to websites as part of that customer journey. Most of us might think that the majority of people are coming to our website at the beginning of the customer journey. It turns out that is not the case. In every industry, the biggest chunk of traffic was coming in the middle of the customer journey. So that means they've already heard about us, they've already done a little bit of research. They're more along the lines of really getting to know who we are and what we offer. So website feedback, crucial part of that customer journey as they are on that website learning about us, planning on whether or not they're going to make a purchase from us. So why would you put website feedback so prominent on a website at that part of the journey? Well, because research has shown that asking for customer feedback is key to customer retention. So it's not just getting those customers in the door, it's keeping them in the door, getting them to come back and do repeat business with us. This was a great quote that we found from a business expert, Chip Bell. He said, people will care when they share. Help customers put skin in the game by begging for feedback on ways to improve their experience. And if you heard us talk about online reputation management, this is a key part of that. How else are you going to know whether there are issues? Your website is such a huge part of your online reputation that you want to make sure that there is an outlet for people to provide feedback on your website. I have been on websites where I really wanted to share feedback of some variety, whether positive, negative, something that I just thought, hey, you guys might want to know. And there was no way for me to get hold of anyone. There was no feedback mechanism. And that can be a bad thing. You want them to stay in the door. So this article that we share here, 21%, so 9 out of the 42 business experts listed, they were all asked, what is a key method to improve customer retention? 9 of them all said either directly survey the customers or listen to your customers. And what's a better way to listen than giving them a feedback option to say, hey, we're here, we want to hear from you.
Yeah, this is powerful stuff. You know, just as humans, we like to have our voices heard. And, you know, I'm sure that we've all had those sales experiences where we're being sold to as opposed to having an engaging conversation around a benefit or a feature or a need. And so this is the chance, not just from a customer perspective, but also just from a prospective customer perspective, which is often who is coming to your website. So
exactly.
As Z mentioned, you know, that middle piece of the process, we had the most people engaging, and so we want to just make sure we give them every opportunity that we can to be able to do that with our content and with us.
Yep. All right. So with that, we are going to go through a website feedback survey demo. I'm going to take the controls here, and we're going to look at how to create a website feedback survey as well as what that tab looks like. Let me just take the controls here.
You took them before I could give them to you. Look at you go.
I'm a pro, bro.
By the way, I was just talking while, I don't know if you can see this screen, but here we are doing the intros, and I didn't see this little message from Z saying, when are you going to share your screen?
Tried to be subtle.
It's live. It's live.
Yep. Okay, so what you're looking at right now, if you are familiar with QuestionPro, this is the screen that is used for creating your surveys. So I have a few surveys that are already created here under a folder called Website Feedback. And I want to go through a couple of these. I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll show you how you create that tab. So the first one we're going to look at is a sample newsletter sign up. So I've seen this used before, except that what I've seen happen is that feedback tab is used and it has something that says sign up today. You click on it and all they capture is your email address. Well, let's expand that a little bit. Let's get some feedback from them before we capture their email address. Give them an outlet to let us know how we're doing. And so we have here, did you find this article interesting? Yes, no, kind of. One of my most frustrating things is never having that, well, it was kind of interesting. I wouldn't say it was totally not interesting. I wouldn't say it totally captured my attention the entire time. So
what are you saying? What does that really give us? Kind of?
It's a kind of. It's like, well, you were almost there.
And one of the things
one of the things that you can do with this is you can add a dynamic comment box. So if you're not familiar with dynamic comment boxes, this is what they look like. You see this little arrow on the side. We're going to open that. We're going to check the box for dynamic comment box. This gives us a way that only if people answer kind of can we say what would have been better about this, which is what we're going to say right here. And we'll save that. And we'll do the same thing for those who answered no, it was not interesting at all. And we have a version of this on our own blog that I'll show you. So did you find this article interesting? We've now asked a couple of questions, given them an outlet for feedback. How likely are you to share this article with someone else is our next question. And then after we ask those questions, then we give them the option to sign up for our newsletter. So it's totally easy, straightforward, simple simple stuff. And that's what you want to do. When it comes to website feedback, you want to keep it super simple. Make sure that you're not asking too much. You want to ask a little bit, but not too much. And that way you're getting the feedback and providing that outlet. So
if we can drill one thing home today, it's keep it simple.
Oh,
keep
totally.
it short and simple.
Yep, when
Really
it comes to website feedback especially. Yeah, you don't want to try to create a multi-page survey for this feedback tab. You want it to be really easy.
Right.
All right, so let's look at the send survey. So now we've created the survey. We go to send survey, and you're going to go to the website embed, and click see options. And up here at the very tippy top, we have website feedback tab. And on our website feedback tab, we have a couple of options. You can either put this on the right or the left, and that will totally depend on your web layout, which one you want to do. If you have a lot of content on the left, your navigation and stuff, probably better to put it on the right.
Would that be the tippy left?
That would be the lefty left.
Got it. Okay, just checking.
Lefty left and righty right. Okay, so we have right or left for where you can put this feedback tab. And while you're making modifications to this, you can see a preview of this feedback tab just by clicking on this little tab on the side. So now I can see what my survey is looking like. And you'll see here, if I choose kind of, there's my little dynamic comment box. So you'll see, this is why we want to keep it really simple, right? You don't want this to overtake your screen. You don't want to have tons of issues with it. So
it's a balance between being disruptive and being helpful. So this is where we hone this in. Great reason to plan your survey before you jump in here.
Absolutely.
And start adding this.
And as part of that, and something that I did not do for this, you actually want to consider your thank you page, because when they click continue to submit this, you want to see, oh, I need to include
after they complete it thoroughly.
After they include all validated questions. So you want to consider, this is part of that experience, right? You want to consider, what is that thank you page going to look like? And we have options on how to update that thank you page, so you can have a thank you page with a link. You can redirect them. So that can be a place that you put a reward. Let's say you want to offer a coupon. You have coupon as a feedback title, and then here they have the code for the coupon. So that's one of the things that you want to consider when you're planning this whole thing out. All right, so we have our tab text that we can update. We'll put here.
Let's also just mention, too, we have some great handouts for you that are unique to this particular webinar, because we are focusing on the best practices a little more heavily based on the nature of this. So we're going to give you some great things that Z has prepared so that you'll have a really quick way, kind of a quick start guide way to get right in here and get these set up the right way the first time.
Right, right. All right, so we're updating our tab text. It's going to say sign up now. Here, you can change the background color to the tab as well as the text color to the tab. So let's say you want it to pop a little bit. You can choose one of these new colors. If you have a custom color, so you know the hex code for it, you can use that hex code right here. You can just replace that. And then change the text color, same thing. Now, I'm going to save, and you'll see the updates. So now I see what it looks like here. We do have a character limit on the tab text. So your tab text is, the character limit for website feedback is 20 characters. So this is one thing that you'll want to make sure that you make it catchy, make it short, but 20 characters actually takes up quite a bit of space. So anything more than that, we realized it was going to be overpowering on a website. All right, that's pretty much it. The next thing you do, you're going to take this code, and this code, the really cool thing about this is the code does not change. I can come back, I can make modifications to the survey, I can make modifications to the tab, modify the tab text, and I don't have to go and recopy this code and put it in my website. What this is, your code, once you copy it, you can make whatever modifications, save, and it will automatically update on your website.
Well, that's handy.
Extremely. All right, so we copy this code, we paste it into your blog or website. So let's take a look. We have this on our help site. Let's take a look at what it looks like. So one of the things that you want to consider when you're putting the website feedback tab together is not to, whether or not you want it for your entire site, maybe just certain pages. When it comes to a blog, we decided we host this on WordPress. We wanted it only for the posts. So you'll see it does not show up on the front, and it will show up on these individual pages.
And we just wanted it to be really relevant to the content that they were seeing, which made more sense to have it on the individual help file. So
Yep.
That's certainly it's not a right or wrong kind of choice. It's a a business choice, and then it gives you a great way to be able to adjust the content of your feedback tab survey accordingly.
Exactly, exactly. And here we have our little survey. So you'll see, what can we do to improve this file? One of the best practices, I think, for website feedback, include an open-ended text question. Don't just limit them to a few options here. Give them the opportunity to provide more feedback than what you're just asking for single select questions.
Yeah, because the likelihood of them being able to say specifically what they want to say within the answer options from 2 questions is, probably slim to none. So you want to make sure you capture that qualitative information. Can I just say something also about not asking for an email? I know you mentioned the email address prior to this, but from a sales and marketing perspective, we want to make sure we're giving your visitors plenty of opportunities to have top of the file conversions as well as, of course, that great conversion of the bottom of the funnel, excuse me, not file, but bottom of the funnel conversion of picking up the phone or filling out your contact form or making a purchase on the site. But top of the funnel conversions too are any way that you can engage with your visitors. So you get them to download a file, you get them to watch a video, go deeper into your site. All those can be considered top of the funnel conversions, and this is a top to middle of the funnel conversion where you're asking them for some specific information. So this is really great stuff from an engagement perspective, customer engagement perspective. And for that reason, maybe we don't jump too quickly into asking for their email address, because you want to make sure you get that higher level conversion and you get them engaging with you, building trust, establishing your brand.
Right, right. Yeah, asking them to share information. Yeah.
It's powerful.
All right, so that's website feedback. That really is as simple as it gets, guys. Now, we've talked about a lot of the best practices. I think we can just dive into what this looks like for an exit survey.
Yeah, we're getting, I don't know if you're seeing the question tab, but people are like, you going to get to exit surveys anytime soon? So absolutely, we'll definitely get to those. So just really quickly, Diego, thanks for saying it's super simple. That's definitely been the goal, and we'll continue to simplify and add value as simply as possible. How does just really quickly, how does this on-screen survey work in responsive sites and standard mobile device widths?
So we have, it is responsive. Tested it ourselves, and it's there. I mean,
yep.
it doesn't overtake the entire thing. So the way that it looks here on this website, where it's just kind of a small tab on the side, it is sized similarly on a mobile device. So it's not something that it's this massive tab that is taking up the majority of your screen space on a mobile device. It is small. It is not super intrusive. And when I have seen it, it is not at all something that makes me think, ugh, that looks absolutely terrible.
Yeah, no, it's designed to be responsive. Having said that, always, of course, test. And if you have a staging environment, even better for your website to be able to dial everything in, because you're working with a much smaller screen. Another reason to keep things short and simple with this is you don't want to give put too much information and risk the chance of them just bouncing off the site. But it is designed to adjust to a mobile screen.
Right, right. We have another question here. Where do you embed that code to put it on your site? So we have a couple of things. First of all, if you have a web administrator for your organization, send the code to them and let them just let them know where you want it. Do you want it on a specific page? Do you want it on the full site? And let them take care of where they're going to put that code. If you are self-managing your site, one of the things that we found, better to put it in a footer if it's going to be on your entire site, because then it does not affect load times. Your site loads and then the feedback tab loads. If you have it on a page, put the code down towards the bottom of your page. But it's really easy. We just used a simple call out that commented thing, just put a little comment that said, hey, website feedback tab. We put a date for when it was last updated so we know when it was last done, and then paste the code and you're good to go.
Yeah, it's not I don't want people to think that it's a really heavy load time or something like that.
No, it's not.
The draw on resources should be very little, but at the same time, there are some great best practices out there that's really a good idea to follow those things, as you mentioned. So,
yeah.
Yeah, and it's gonna vary to a certain degree from one site to the next, of course. So there are plenty of resources. Just using your favorite search engine to find those, or as Z mentioned, a network administrator or web administrator would be a great source. You just grab that, copy that code, and email it to them, and ask them to tell you wherever you want it, and they'll put it there.
Yep. All right, let's look at some exit surveys. Well, an exit survey. Let's look at how to create that. All right, so we're going to do the exact same thing. We create a survey. We're going to do this keyword capture survey, give you an idea of what to do here. So we have just a quick, how did you get to our site? And then we have some options. And if they said keyword search, we created a dynamic comment box that asked them, what keywords did you use? So we can add some more information in here. Again, you want to keep it simple. Make sure that you have that, what is it that you really want to get out of this in the planning stages? And that will determine how many questions you ask. So an exit survey, you can make it a little bit longer because it is loading in a tab after they have left your site. Then it loads in a background tab, but you still want to keep it pretty short.
One other key differentiator is that you've asked them first if they would take the survey. So once you have their permission, now there's a little more flexibility to maybe be a little more in depth. We still want to keep to the short and simple methodology, of course, because they're done with your site essentially. You want to be able to get them back to business after gathering some feedback from them. So we still want to follow those best practices, but you probably have a little more leeway since you have their explicit permission to provide this survey for them.
Exactly, exactly. Another thing to take into consideration, you can do a whole exit survey about a specific page, but keep in mind that your visitors are likely looking at other links on your site. They're probably visiting more than just that well, you hope, right, that they're visiting more than that specific page on your site. So in the planning stages, we actually put one up on our webinar page, and it is specific to the webinar site. And we were reminded of the fact that people are looking at other things on the site because of feedback that came in and said, hey, I was looking for this thing, this particular page, great, but I was actually looking for something else. So really good reminder to us that keep that open-ended text question in there, because we would never have known if we had just kept it to single select, and B, remember that they are visiting other areas of your site. So again, keep that in your planning stages for your best practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so again, we're going to send survey. And then we are going to click See Options.
Next to the website embed, just like we did before for the
just like we did before. Yep.
Tab.
Yep. And we've talked about these before in previous webinars. So we're going to focus here on our exit survey right now. So we click Exit Survey, opens up our options. So here are the options for Exit Survey. You can either just show it once. So this will be only for visitors the first time they come to your website. Or you can show it always, which means anytime someone shows up to your website, they will see this, the exit survey invitation. And then you have the option of updating the title. This one has 25 character limit. and then you can also update the description. So the things that are locked down for the title and description, the formatting as well as the buttons, so there's a no thanks or yes please, those are the buttons that you can click for this screen, those are locked down currently. So you can update the title and you can update the description. So a best practice here, if you're going to offer a reward for people participating, mention that in the description, mention that in the invitation. Again, keep that invitation short and sweet, make it direct, but mention whether they're going to be eligible for a reward because of this.
Also, a quick aside, we did a research project last year, and we compared a few different options for rewards. And what we looked at was one reward that was a large one-time gift. I think it was a $150 Amazon.com gift card, part of our rewards automated fulfillment feature. Mm-hmm. And so that was one option, the chance to win one gift card. Then we did a chance to win one of 3 $50 Amazon.com gift cards in a separate survey. And the third survey, we offered the chance for, I don't know, my math is bad, whatever 20 times 5 is. I think a $5 chance to win one of 25 Amazon.com gift cards. We got the best response for the better chance to get the smaller denomination reward. So as you're thinking about that, just a quick aside, you take that into consideration when you're planning this. If you do offer some sort of a reward, people like a better chance to get a smaller reward than they do just one big amount.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so you can update the title, you can update the description, and then just as before, here's the code. If you make changes to the survey, make changes to any of the title, description, etc., the code stays the same. So you don't have to go recopy, repaste, resend to your web admin once you've got it up there. So you take this, you put it up on your site. Now, let's see. I just had it set to just once. So
maybe so. I'm going to try an incognito tab.
Yeah. All right, so we do have this on our training page. And there's what it looks like. So you see that it's a small screen. So again, that's why you want to keep this pretty short and sweet for the invitation. It has the title there, and then we have our invitation text, and then the no thanks or yes please. If I say yes please, then you'll see this new screen pops up. It says thank you for agreeing. It tells you you can click here to take the survey if this doesn't end up loading, or if someone wants to take the survey before they've left your site. Typically this loads. Once I close this tab, then this is supposed to reload. Looks like ours is having a little bit of an issue that we need to address there.
I don't know if we've worked it out with the, it could be related to the incognito window or something like that. But we'll definitely look at that kind of thing. And if you have a scenario that, where things aren't quite working like you think they should, certainly jump on chat. Or you can let us know now, or you can jump on chat 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we can help you work through those things. So don't let that stop you. We'll definitely help you work through that. It could just be a setting or a configuration kind of thing that we need to work through.
Right. And if this doesn't load, there's still the option to click here. So they click that button and it automatically will show them the survey. So a couple of options there in case one doesn't work. There's the fallback. So that is what an exit survey looks like. I think we've also talked through most of the best practices that we were wanting to address for exit surveys. And we have an excellent question about how does this work in a mobile context. We are still working on getting it mobile optimized. So it'll come up. The screen is just a little bit cut off. So we are working through that. The survey itself is triggered by either someone closing the tab to your browser or going to a different website altogether from that same tab that they were on. So
it's the invitation, right, that we're still working on dialing in.
yeah,
But
yeah, the invitation
survey is mobile optimized. The invitation. These are both really new features, so we're still on the fast track to get everything dialed in.
yeah.
So please send us your feedback. If you do run into something, we'll definitely get it worked. Also, you can visit questionpro.ideascale.com and you can submit items there. That's another great resource available to you. But
Yep.
please let us know if you have any feedback on that kind of thing. We're actively working on enhancing these features.
Yeah, yeah. But typically that survey gets triggered again when someone is closing the tab or going to a different website. So it sees, hey, they're leaving your website. Now it's going to refresh that particular screen, and it will be there for you. So shall we take a look at some of our questions that have come through?
Yeah, I think we've been answering as we go. Here's one, Robert, thanks for the question. Is this for blogs only? No, absolutely not. Any website. Yeah, could be for a blog. Great for a blog, but it could be anywhere.
Yeah, in fact, we put the exit survey here on our sign up for our training classes page. You can put
the feedback tabs were on our blog. We did put it on our blog, and we also put it in our help center.
Yep.
So we had it in both those. So those three places, and it could be we could have done the exit survey instead of the feedback tab. We just wanted to show a variety of them. Interestingly, we had some great feedback from comparing the different options here. You want to share that, Z?
Sure. So I was probably super surprised by this. Well, I wasn't probably. I was super surprised by this. Because in my mind, that website feedback tab, it's pretty non-intrusive and also inviting, but we have had much better response rates to the exit survey than we have to the feedback tabs. So just a really interesting thing, the feedback tab is always present, it's always there. The exit survey, it's a new thing. I thought it was going to be a little intrusive. And it turns out people so far, now we're still gathering data, but so far people have been more likely to answer an exit survey, to take the exit survey than they have the feedback tab. So not to say that one is better than the other, not to say one is better than the other, but certainly consider your use case scenarios when you are deciding whether you're going to use a feedback tab or an exit survey for your site or for a page on your site.
Yeah, yeah. Eric has made a couple of comments. Looks like, Eric, you were digging into this. That's great. Really appreciate this feedback. Where the survey didn't automatically load. It could have been, boy, there are so many different things. We would love to know what environment you're on, what computer environment you're on, what browser you're using, so that we can dig into those. If we can get some more information from you via private message, or we can follow up after, that'd be great, and we can maybe help answer that. Oh, there you go. PC, Windows 7, Chrome. Okay, we'll definitely look at that environment and test and see if we can uncover anything, and then get back to you on that.
Definitely.
Do we want to talk about? We've got these lists of the steps. Do we want to show those?
Yeah, yeah. Let me make you the presenter here, and if you'll share that PowerPoint again.
All right, can you see it there?
There we go.
All right, success.
Yeah.
Redemption. Okay, great. So, great quick guide for you. Some things here on this is the website feedback survey demo, so that you can see the steps here. Create your survey, simple questions, straightforward question text. Format your thank you page, remember that. And then you go, once you have everything set up, you go to send survey, website embed, set your options, or see options, excuse me, and website feedback, and then make your changes there. Once you save it, copy your code, paste it into your website, and then you'll publish those changes and you're live with your new exit survey or feedback tab. There's some of the options are different for each of these, but basically the process is the same, right, Z?
Yep, yep. You go in, you make your modifications, you copy the code, paste it in.
Yeah. Yeah, so we talked, let's see, did we cover all these? I think we pretty much got everything
For
here.
website feedback, I believe we did.
Yeah, the pop of color is nice. You can add a pop of color there to change it. And that's you can use hex code value, right?
Yep.
Yep, so that's pretty easy to do. Grab a snappy title and keep it short. Test before you go live. Remember that thank you page. Definitely remember the thank you page, a critical piece that you want to make sure is adding value.
And we keep mentioning that because it is also something that is so easy to forget. Suddenly you go live and you're like, oh no, I totally forgot the thank you page.
Yeah, so test, and oh yeah, one more thing, test.
Yeah.
All right, so exit survey demo. This is what we covered, creating a new survey, same thing with the thank you page. And then we go to that same send survey tab, click website embed, or click the C options next to website embed, and then click exit survey, set your configuration changes, and then copy the code, paste it into your website, and publish. And we have two separate help files for each of those. For more information, we'll make sure we distribute that with the recording and with the
presentation itself. Yeah.
Yeah, the presentation. So. So this is some great information here as well on the exit survey. Great to measure overall experience. You can gather, like we did, on a specific page or element of the site. It'd be great for an e-commerce shopping cart, etc. So lots of great things that you can use this for. So as we said, site-wide, page-specific. Footer is a great place for this kind of code if it works across the board. And then create your title. Great to include a reward or some sort of incentive. Make sure you get that open-ended text question in there. Keep it short and test before you go live. Don't forget the thank you page.
Yep, yep.
All right.
We've had a few more questions that have come in. So I want to clarify here, this stuff is not just for owner sites. So this is not just for small business. This is totally, both of these are definitely things that can be used for corporate websites, which is one of the reasons that we said if you have a web administrator or a network administrator, you'll want to loop them into this and give them the code because they will know best where to put it when you are doing this for a corporate website. So it's for any website. I mean, if you have a personal blog, if you have a small business site, if you have a corporate website, you can use both of these on either of those and any of those. So pretty much any website you can put a feedback tab on or do an exit survey.
Exit survey, yeah. Yeah, powerful stuff.
Yep. We have another question here. Could the exit survey be activated when exiting a certain page on the site? Right now, I believe it's just activated when someone leaves the entire site and not just for a certain page on the site. That might be a case where you want to use a feedback tab rather than the exit survey, or make sure that the exit survey is focused on whatever you wanted to, whatever feedback you wanted about that specific page. So our exit survey is focused on the experience on the training page. So no matter where they have gone, when they come back and they take that survey, it's about their experience on the training page. You can do something similar.
And it's not going to be triggered until they get to the training page, too. They could go to our homepage, QuestionPro.com, navigate through the site, eventually land on the training page, and that's when they're going to trigger the survey invitation. So there should be some contextual reference there to when they got to that page. That's what the survey is about. So even though you can't trigger it when they leave that particular page, you can trigger the invitation to start when they get to that particular page.
Yes, yes. It looks like we have a question here. Do you have any data from your customers on the percentage of customers who actually complete exit surveys? I don't have it off the top of my head. I just know we had a lot more, we had a higher response rate from views to completes for the exit survey than we did for the feedback tab. Again, that's not to say exit survey is better than feedback tab. It totally depends on what feedback you're wanting to collect.
Yeah.
I think if you're using a feedback tab like we did, which is on the Help Center as well as our blog, that's a couple of places where people might be a little less likely to contribute feedback anyway unless there is a big issue. If they were on the help site, they were reading through the help file and it just totally was not relevant at all, they likely would use that feedback tab to say, hey, no, that totally not even close to what I was looking for.
Right. Well, and the other thing, too, is, we have our live chat, 24/7 chat available from the Help Center also. So if they're not finding what they're looking for, they're probably more likely, since they're trying to get their survey done, they're probably more likely to click the live chat button and give the feedback, to our customer support team as opposed to that tab. So,
right.
But this does bring up a good point, too. As we get more and more data on this, I think it would be fun for us to take some of that and analyze it and say, hey, here's what we're seeing as far as completion rates on exit surveys versus feedback tabs versus pop-up surveys, etc. So that would be a fun project.
Yes. So we have this question here. You have a reporting area on your site where you can see data and responses. And oh, absolutely, do we ever. If you are in QuestionPro and you are going through, you can just click Reports. In fact, let me grab the...
Yeah, take over.
You can show this here. All right, so you'll see next to Send Survey at the top, we have Reports. And this is where the real-time summary, if you want to learn more about this, we have our training series, our free training series. We go through the Reports tab on the 4th week of each month, and we have that on our webinar page. But this is where you can see the number of people who viewed, started, completed. You get your completion rates. You see how many people dropped out. You also get your data, the response data, to see at a glance using visuals, as well as, so you'll see a chart as well as this nice list here of how many people have answered. And so, as well as...
all of the great reporting and analysis features that we have for any survey are, of course, available for these surveys.
Exactly, exactly.
I didn't mean to cut you off, as well as...
no, as well as in the response viewer. If you're using a feedback tab and you have it on your entire site, we're going to click here, response viewer.
This is not our survey, obviously, but...
Yeah, not our survey, and of course we have no data right now. But in the response viewer, you will see a column that says Custom 201. That captures the URL from which that feedback tab was completed. So you can have a feedback tab like we do on our entire Help Center, and then we know exactly which file they were on, which file they were on when they took that feedback survey. So adds that level of, they don't have to tell you what page they were looking at. I can see it myself when I go into my response viewer, and I can see which pages they have been responding to.
There we go. Thanks, everyone. That was great. We went over time a little bit. Appreciate your patience as we got things dialed in the very beginning. Had a few curveballs thrown at us, but hopefully we've knocked it out of the park for you, and you're going to dive right into your QuestionPro account, get your exit survey and or feedback tab set up, and start engaging with your customers on your site. Please let us know if you have any additional questions. We're happy to answer those. You can visit live chat 24/7. You can also go to www.questionpro.com/webinar to catch our other training sessions. We have a free special training monthly, and we also have weekly trainings where we go through, Z walks you through a series covering everything from getting started to sending your survey, creating your survey, distributing it using custom variables, reporting. It's the gamut. So, and that's a weekly series that we complete each month, a great way to get in-depth into QuestionPro very quickly. Thanks, E.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you everyone for attending. We hope to see you guys soon, either at our next special free training next month or at one of our regular free training series that we do each week.